This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSP TV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
Tonight on FYI, information on how to stay safe this July 4th holiday and all summer long. Good evening and thanks for joining us on this Independence Day edition of FYI. I'm Ken Karen. A big thank you to all of our veterans and military still serving on this Independence Day. Well, today is the 4th of July and people all across the United States are celebrating their freedom. Many are gathering together with family and friends, and many of us will celebrate with the traditional fireworks. Tonight, Lisa Sugar talks with some emergency responders who have important advice to keep you safe, not only on this 4th of July holiday, but all summer long.
We are inside an ambulance at APTS, American Patient Transport Systems in Hazleton. This is one place you don't want to end up this summer, but if you do, you know you'd be in good hands if you're here with the guys from APTS. To my immediate right is Dennis Gantz, and Dennis is the Director of Marketing and Education, and Wally Boyle is the Paramedic Coordinator for the program here at APTS. Wally, I'm going to start with you. You see an awful lot of accidents over the summer months, people of all ages. So tell us about some of the issues you have to deal with.
Well, some of the things is with the young kids with the swimming pools. They like to run, they like to jump. And it's important for them to realize that that wet area that they're running on is very slick and they can fall and have head injuries. And a lot of them, they think they're invincible. They can jump into any water, whether it says not to dive or not. And that also becomes a problem with neck injuries and or broken legs if they jump in feet first. So it's really important that they listen to what their parents say. And it's important for parents to enforce it. I know being a parent myself of a teenager, you like to let the kids have some fun and whatnot, but there's certain things that they just can't do. And running and jumping into pools that aren't meant to be jumped into is really dangerous, along with making sure that they walk around those pool areas so that they don't slip and fall.
And another issue that you see also incidents with are people riding ATVs and accidents involving those.
Yeah, and once again, I'm an owner of two ATVs. My daughter and I both went through the safety course, and we do ride with our helmets. We do ride with hand protection and whatnot, and long pants, even though it is hot out. They are not very dangerous if you drive them the way that they're meant to be. Right now there's a Olympic swimmer who's paralyzed from the waist down from an innocent ATV accident. I have a friend of mine who had flipped his because he was driving along, thought it was an innocent rock, and it threw him off. So, making sure that you're dressed appropriately and wearing the safety gear, and be cautious of where you're at, and don't, ride too quick or too fast for conditions. You might be familiar with where it is, but it just takes that one rock to throw that ATV off, and you'll wind up being flipped over and could be wind up either in a helicopter ride to a local trauma center or worse.
And when you're speaking about safety on the roadways, that includes motorcycles as well. And Dennis, we're hearing a lot about motorcycle accidents already this summer.
Yeah, and it is the season. The bike owners, this is the time of year that they wait for, that they look forward to. A lot of groups and motorcycle clubs, they do a lot of fundraising bike rides for a lot of different charities. So there are a lot of motorcycles that are out on the road, and it's very easy not to see a motorcycle, so we ask motorists to please be aware when you do see motorcycles. Give them the space that they're deserved, and don't tailgate against them. Pay attention to when you're pulling out, because a motorcycle may be coming and you may not see it. So take that extra second or two to look both ways when you're pulling out of an intersection, so there isn't a motorcycle coming, that you don't cause an accident. And like Wally said, we can't stress it enough. I know we don't have a law in Pennsylvania anymore that requires it, but it is so important to make sure that you wear the proper safety equipment, and mainly that helmet. That helmet is going to save your life. Not in all cases, but if you have it on, you have a very good chance, if you are in some unfortunate accident, that it is going to save your life. And that helmet's going to tell us a lot when we take it with us to the hospital, because they're going to see what kind of impact that you sustain when you hit the ground if you do happen to be involved in a motorcycle accident. So it's very important.
All right, and one final thing. We all know we're going to be hearing and seeing fireworks throughout everywhere because of the July 4th holiday. So safety with that. How often do you see people with fireworks accidents? Who wants to take that one?
Oh, I'll take that one. We've had a couple burn victims last year. The big thing is everyone thinks that, I can hold on to it, and they don't realize that the explosive charge that's in there, how powerful it is and how it can spread the burning embers and burn their hands. They give them warnings, and the instructions on the packaging is put there for a reason, because they are dangerous and they need to be respected. Think of them as a handgun. Those of us who own handguns are always taught, handle a handgun as if it's loaded, whether you think it's unloaded or it's unloaded, you still treat it that way. Same thing with fireworks. They're can be very dangerous, and they need to be handled as such, and with caution, and to follow the instructions that come with them. And once they're on the ground, don't go up to them. If they don't go off, pour water on them. Don't grab a hold of them, because maybe there are embers in there, and as you go pick it up, it could explode. So you're safer to just wet down that firework that doesn't go off, and don't touch it once it's been lit and put out for display.
All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for allowing us to come in and get some important life-saving advice from you. Hopefully you won't end up in the back of an ambulance, but if you feel there is a need and you feel you're in danger, you know to always call for help and dial 911.
On this July 4th holiday, we thought it was appropriate to recognize a company in our area that is always giving back to the community it serves. FYI's Janine Mazurkevich has the story.
And welcome back on FYI. We're in your community today here at PPL, and we are with Martha Hearn and another group that you're well familiar with now, Hazelton Power. So, Martha, thanks for having us. I know there is a big announcement regarding some funding that you're giving to this group.
There certainly is. $1,500 for Hazelton Power from PPL.
Now, this isn't the first time that PPL has donated to Power or other groups in the organization or in the community. So why do you feel it's important to give this funding to Hazelton Power and groups like it?
Well, PPL is a good corporate citizen. We want to be involved in our community, not just with our volunteers and our resources, but also understanding that these organizations need financial backing in order to do what they want to do and make the community better. So PPL likes to sponsor and have our communities a better place to live and work and play.
And Renee is the president of Hazelton Power. What does this mean to our group as far as the money that we're going to be able to utilize this money within this community?
This donation to Hazelton Power is fuel for our entire summer. And we have such a great summer planned, because what's so nice about some of the new initiatives that we're launching this summer is that it's fully collaborative. So we've got input from the Chamber of Commerce, and we've got input from the Downtown Hazelton Alliance for Progress, and we're all sort of working together. And so it's so much more important that when we have that sort of collective skill set, and we pull all of our resources together, we can do so much more in the community. The outreach is so much better. So this funding is really the lifeblood to making all of that happen.
And Robert Moore, you handle the money for the group, the important aspect. Where will this money be used, and how can people get involved if they want to get involved with the group or if they want to send a donation?
This money will be used primarily for all of our upcoming summer events. So it'll be used to help us with our Second Friday events that are starting on July 11th, the movie at the Markle, and our mixer events that will be happening throughout the rest of the summer. I believe we'll have one coming up in August. And just any other events that we believe will help us to enhance our mission and vision. And in addition to all of the stuff we have going on downtown, then we'll also be taking part, along with the Civic Partnership Rails to Trails, in a 5K run-walk event in the fall. So we have a lot going on in the upcoming months, so we encourage everyone to like our Facebook page and go out to our website, hazeltonpower.com. And if you're not a member or want to get more information and join, that's the best place to start. We have plenty of sponsorships available. There's all information about it. And if you have any questions, you can always email us at info@hazeltonpower.com, and we'll be glad to get back to you right away.
Again, all the information, you can check out Hazelton Power's Facebook or online, or get in contact by stopping by the Second Fridays that are starting July 11th here in downtown Hazelton. And that's it for FYI, or in your community.
Now here's what our media partner, the Standard Speaker, is working on for this 4th of July weekend: an investigative report on condemned properties in the city of Hazelton. So look out for that and more this weekend in the Hazelton Standard Speaker. Coming up on FYI, how can you improve your golf game? Our weekly tips are next. Plus, FYI's own Chris Goy takes us behind the scenes of a major fireworks display.
This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSP TV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
Hi, I'm Chuck Jumpeter, golf teaching pro here at Sand Springs Country Club, and I'm here today to help you lower your handicap with the Sand Springs Golf Tip of the Week. Today's tip is make the bounce your friend. The bounce on the back of your sand wedge or your lob wedge is the difference in angle between this little mound you see on the back of my club and the leading edge of the club. Sometimes we're confronted with these real tight lies around the green, and normally you would putt this shot, but you'll get a situation where you might have something between you and the pin, a sand trap, a little stream, something like that, and you need to loft it over it. So you play that shot a little differently if you're going to take the wedge. You open up your stance to the target and point the club at where you want it to go. I have a little aiming device here that'll help you see pointing at the target, going at that hole down there. With the stance open and the ball by my right foot, I just want to rotate my chest to hit this shot and not use a lot of hands. So it's just a little chest rotation and let the club do the work. You don't have to hit it hard, it should pop up and head right on down by that target. So the next time you're stuck in that situation, you've got a tight lie and you need to let the bounce work for you. Don't be afraid of just pop it with the bounce. The club will slide underneath the ball and you'll get close to that hole. Thank you. Until next time, hit them straight and far.
Very excited for this next story as we go behind the scenes of a fireworks show. So this is our Chris Goy. You've heard his voice many times now covering sports for us, helping us out this summer. Many hats. He also works on his car, very nice Mustang car. You race that car, drag race every now and then at New Media, I believe, the raceway there. And also a pyrotechnician. So at the 4th of July coming up, let's talk about that a little bit. What's the biggest show you've ever done? And tell us about it a bit.
The biggest show we've done so far would be at Harrah's Casino in Philadelphia. That show was huge. It was about a 45 minute to an hour show, and it took a lot to set up, and there's a lot of work that goes into it.
All right, so you work for D&M Fireworks. You just had a show. We're looking at some of the pictures now of the show you recently set up. Take us through the day, setup-wise, and then when you're lighting them off, what's the day like? What's the work like?
Well, to start off, we have to drive all the way to the loading docks where we get the big trucks with all the fireworks and everything. We pick those trucks up and we drive them all the way to our place where we're shooting at. And then once we get there, we have to unload all the racks and that have all the pipes in it. And then we have to find spots to set them up and everything. And then we unload the fireworks off of it and place them next to the pipes and everything like that. On top of that, we have to stake all the pipes into the ground and nail them in, and we have to make sure everything's stable and sturdy so nothing falls over. On top of that, then we have to clean the pipes out too, because sometimes there's like leftover, like, I guess, cardboard from the previous shoots and everything like that, and then we are able to load the fireworks.
So tell me about who designs the show then? Who does the look? I mean, are you laying them out in a specific pattern where you want things to go? Who designs the show? How does that get done?
Well, we all the explosives are like basically ordered and everything like that from like our company manager and everything. We get to read what like each one does. It has like a specific like name or like what, like a star shape or like a different color per se, but we'll try to like set them up to like do it. But when we shoot, we do it all manually. We don't use computers, like the systems that detonate and everything. So basically we run around and we're just hitting different ones. So it's random the way it is.
So when you say hitting, what does that entail? What is it like now it's nighttime, you're getting ready to do this? How crazy is this?
Well, it gets pretty intense because usually there's only around 3 or 4 of us shooting, and there's a lot of fireworks. So when we're shooting, we have those big like red flares that they use for like accidents and stuff like that lay out. We light those up, and then basically we got to keep our heads away from the tubes, and we get down low and just hit and run around and sprint our butts off.
Last thing, let's talk about safety with this. What do you do to stay safe? I'm sure there's risks with this job, but what do you try to do to stay safe?
To stay safe, I like to wear jeans because you get a lot of like debris that falls down. Yeah, I also wear a hard hat because you don't want stuff falling and hitting you in the head, and that could possibly knock you out. And also, I mean, it's on fire. A lot of the things. I don't know how many times that I've caught like clothing. I have holes in my shirts and everything from the debris falling on you. So I mean, you just gotta. We have fire extinguishers also right there, just in case. Usually the fire department and the paramedics are sitting close by in case anything catches on fire on the ground or anything like that, which has happened before. But, I mean, it's just all about using your head, staying smart, and playing it safe. That's all.
All right, well, remember, if you're watching fireworks this 4th of July season, there are people back there setting them off for your enjoyment. And now, after learning about how the displays are done, here's a complete list of firework displays in our area.
This is FYI News 13 Sports.
It's Dave Day again on the Sportscast this week. We missed him so much when he wasn't here last week. We had him on twice this week. We do appreciate it. Dave Seaman, the sports editor from the Standard Speaker, back with us. Talked about the World Cup on Wednesday, talking local today. Dave, the District 18, 11, and 12-year-old Little League All-Star Tournament going on, and Valley East has made their way through the winner's bracket, waiting in the championship game now. What a performance from them. Their offense has been dominant. They've got dominant pitching. What have you thought of this Valley East team?
Well, so far you win 4 games against the competition that they've played too, and their games haven't been really close too. Like you said, strong pitching, timely hitting, powerful hitting, takes you a long way in a District Little League tournament.
A lot of Alexes on this team, and Alex Edmetler, the pitcher for them, I saw him in 2 games. One was a complete game. I think he had 11 strikeouts. The next game that got them into this championship round, I think he had 8 or 9 strikeouts. He's been very, very impressive on the mound for Valley East.
Definitely a kid that can mix up his pitches very, very well. He's very poised for a 12-year-old kid. You need a lot of that too. When you're getting to this level of Little League, teams want to take a crack at you, but the good pitching usually beats good hitting. That's the saying, and usually holds true in Little League tournaments.
Working there. Speaking of good hitting, Russ Kanzler gets released by the Yankees and then a few days later signs with the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. Good for the fans around here. Stays in the Keystone State. Back with the manager he's worked with when he was in the Cubs organization with Ryan Sandberg. How much do you think this can pay off, this move for Russ? Maybe a blessing in disguise.
Just so he gets his opportunities. Russ is always a guy who needed his opportunities. When he's gotten his opportunities, he has delivered. He's been in several organizations now. An opportunity to play for Ryan Sandberg, who he's played for, I believe, 3 different times in the minor leagues in the Cubs organization, and he flourished for him at a couple different stops. So Ryan knows Russ's strengths, his weaknesses, and Russ has maybe a little chip on his shoulder after being released by the Yankees organization, and he showed that earlier this week with 3-run homer against the Rail Riders.
I think Russ has handled everything very well. Have you seen him mature as he's gone through the minor leagues, major leagues, or has he always been this level-headed and like that since you've been covering him, really?
He's always been a mature, one of the most pleasant people to talk to, interviewed throughout my career. He's always been forthright. He's been honest about his struggles to make the major leagues. He's never given up. He's kept his focus, and it's always been to make the major leagues and make a major league roster and stick there. And you got to admire the kid. He's like I said, he's very mature. He handles questions very, very well. And a kid like that deserves a shot. Not a kid. He's a grown man right now. Well, we call him a kid, but now he's 28 years old. So he's a grown man, and he's been a man since he's 13 years old from a personality perspective.
Dave, we always appreciate you stopping by. You can see him here on FYI, and you can read some of Dave's work in the Standard Speaker along with the entire Standard Speaker sports staff. Be happy, it's Friday, and go to Bottlenecks for half-price happy hour starting at 6 p.m. They have live music and half-price appetizers.
My name is Leanne Falabelle, and I'm the Vice President of Marketing at the Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce, and today I'm going to talk about our 8th Annual Women's Empowerment Grant. We give this grant away every year through our Women's Networking Committee here at the Chamber, and right now we're currently looking for women to apply for this grant. So this grant is intended for any woman that is going back to school to advance their degree, any woman who is returning to the workforce, or any woman who's looking to just change their career path and start off fresh. So like I said, we do this every year, and applications are due the end of July 30th, and then we notify our recipients of the grants by the end of August. And we are just, if anybody's interested in applying for the grant, they can go to our website, hazletonchamber.org, and go to our homepage. It's on the left-hand side under important links. There's an application there, or they can simply call our office and we can mail them an application.
We have a great FYI weekend planned for you, so tune in for that. Janine will take us to Nescapec Park as she continues her segments there at the State Park. Plus in sports, we have a very special story about a photo taken at Pocono Raceway of some race cars. We'll tell you why that's so special and how it's helping out local charities. So stay tuned for all of that and more on FYI Weekend. Until then, take it easy, everyone.